Today's episode is brought to you by the Vegas Beer Guys.
Everything sequel contains explicit language. And why the fudge not, you melon farmer?
Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel Podcast, the Karate Kid Edition. My name is Michael Chance. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. With me is the wonderful pitchmaster, Tom Stewart from Lonesome Whistle Productions. What do you got for me, Tom?
Just monks having good time.
I wouldn't be surprised if your sequel involved just the monks.
That's a great idea. Let me quickly write that instead of what I have.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're pitching a sequel to the Karate Kid series. If you are a longtime listener, you know that there are no rules. We can make this sequel in 1995. We could make it now. We can do, if somebody has since died, we can include them. Whatever you want. There are no rules. Tom, Was this easy for you, or did you struggle?
I struggled, but for not the expected reasons. I mean, certainly you feel that there's a lot of unused potential in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you need something to redeem next Karate Kid, I would say, and I guess you would say 3 as well needs redeeming. So there's a whole lot of You need
all three of them.
You need a movie that
redeeming.
restores the reputation of the series.
None of those movies are good.
However, nonsense. However,
they're all bad.
Cobra Kai seems to have done that job to most people's satisfaction, as far as I can tell.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
We've talked, because neither one of us has started Cobra Kai yet, so...
And let me tell you, Netflix really wants me to see it.
Yeah, I know. I just turned on Netflix the other day, and that was the first thing. It was like, watch Cobra Kai now.
The next...
And I didn't even want to look at the, preview to be influenced in any way.
The next thing that's going to happen is, I think, karate students are just going to fly out of my television and put me in a headlock until I turn it on. I think that's the next stage of the Netflix advertising. But,
come here, you're going to watch it, I tell you.
But so I went back to a kind of a picture sequel favorite trope of mine, which is the sort of everything soup. As you described it, sequel to because it struck me. What struck me is what's kind of missing is some kind of cohesion.
Is it 5 Karate Kid?
No, it's okay. There are no numbers involved in this.
Okay,
but I kind of thought, what is kind of missing is something that brings together all the sequels, because there's so little cohesion between them. So that was what I wanted to... Essentially a crossover between the last 3 sequels is what I'm aiming for. Because I think that's the one thing that we haven't got in this series as yet.
Interesting.
Like a sequel that speaks to all the sequels, and wouldn't screw things up for Cobra Kai.
Mine, I think, would demolish Cobra Kai. It would render it completely useless, unfortunately. But that's where my sequel went.
Well, and if we can pull from anything in history, we can pull from anything in sequels. So we are well within our right to put in a movie that makes no sense in chronology.
Yeah, do whatever the fuck we want.
I mean, people do that for real. Without thinking twice about it. So we definitely, in the fiction of picture sequel, should not be taking this as a hard and fast rule that we can't make something that someone has to immediately retcon.
Right. Well, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'd like you to go first this time.
All right. My sequel is called The Last Karate Kid. Now,
So just for anyone listening, I'm laughing because Mike has picked up an earlier draft of my pitch a sequel and run with it. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, to me, it was, along the lines of my last 48 hours.
Well,
you know?
that's it. I considered The Last Karate Kid for a while, and then I thought, Mike's definitely going to do that. The last movie was the next Karate Kid.
I like my sequels to be the definitive last sequel. Where we'll end with mine because it'll be magnificent, and then we're done with the series forever.
Yeah, you're purposefully trying to sabotage the series instead of doing it by accident like all the other films in this series.
Right, exactly. End on a high note, I say. So, at any rate, now the one thing I'll admit freely, I have not seen Cobra Kai, but I know that William Zabka's in it, so I know that Johnny's back, and that's where my story lays. So I imagine we have some similarities.
Well, now it's going to be so interesting to watch Cobra Kai.
Well, and here's the thing. So the one thing that this entire series lacks, at least done well, you're going to argue that they do this in number 3, but I'll tell you that it's done poorly. The one thing this series lacks is a rift in the friendship between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. So, the idea for my series...
Wait. Are you telling me that this is not what happens in Karate Kid Part 3?
I'm telling you it's not done well.
Oh, yeah, okay. That I know. But that...
Okay.
But... Okay. I thought you were just...
And it's not...
It did happen. I mean, it happened.
It happened, but it feels like... In Karate Kid Part 3, it feels way more one-sided.
Oh, yeah, well...
It's just Daniel.
But as I argued at the time, it's Miyagi's pacifist principles make him instantly forgive, because that's who he is. That's true to his character.
Right. So... My idea was take the Johnny character. Mm-hmm. The last time we've seen him, he's getting abused by his teacher at the beginning of Karate Kid Part 2. I imagine that there's some sort of similarity to Cobra Kai. I imagine he's probably down on his luck at the beginning of that.
You're getting John G. Avildsen into direct, I assume.
Right, yeah.
Oh, so down on his luck?
I've got the John G. Avildsen idea of a man down on his luck, and it's William Zabka. Now, you can't have it, you can't have it like 1995. I would wait some time, somewhere between 2000 and 2005. He's a full-fledged adult.
Okay.
But, when you have like a high school reunion and...
Superman 3.
Yeah, and you have the football player who's the most popular guy in school,
Brad.
Who is now, he's like, that was fleeting, and he's no longer the most popular guy. He's
Brad.
Doing whatever he's doing because, yeah, exactly. So that's William Zabka.
That makes sense.
And he laments that Daniel LaRusso sort of stunted his path.
Mike, this is gotta be what happens in Cobra Kai.
Well, hang on, I'm not done. I understand that I'm most likely on a Cobra Kai path now.
Unless they go to space, this is what Cobra Kai is.
No, but my idea is that he happens upon Miyagi,
mm-hmm.
and
I like it.
They develop a friendship, which hurts Daniel. And so they develop a friendship to the extent that he takes karate back up, learning from Miyagi. So you imagine all these people, like Miyagi as an older man now,
mm-hmm.
but the two boys are now adults, And so the crux of the story is one new student and then the betrayal for Daniel from the Miyagi side.
So where's Daniel in all this?
Well, and here's the thing is, I don't know what Daniel's doing in Cobra Kai, but I just imagine him being successful in whatever path he's chosen as his life.
Yeah,
I
you've
don't know
seen
if
that
it's...
same screen grab that I have of him in a suit in Cobra Kai.
Right, right,
And we've
right.
gone, oh, he's successful, he's in a suit.
Yes. So my idea was I hadn't decided about Daniel in the sense of like his life work. Like, did he open his own dojos trying to teach what Miyagi taught him? Or so that was kind of where my mind went. Like, does Johnny learn from Miyagi, open up Cobra Kai, and do these dueling dojos start having their students fight at the All Valley Championship, essentially?
Yeah.
And that was where my initial thought went. I think I'm going to stick with that. I liked the idea of these opposing dojos, of bringing back in the All Valley tournament.
I like it.
Of having that be the pinnacle of the two men. The only problem I had is, you're going to have to bring in secondary characters, the students that they're now teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And so is it their fight that we're working through? Like, do the kids hate each other?
If you're getting Avildsen to direct, it inevitably will be.
It would have to be, I suppose.
But
So,
no, I mean, it doesn't.
Somehow,
you can do what you want, but don't get Avildsen if you don't want it to be the kids.
I know. Well, somehow I had this idea, not that they were friends necessarily. Because the one thing I always really liked about the first Karate Kid is, Johnny has this moment where he picks up the trophy and he gives it to Daniel.
Right.
He says, "You're all right, man. Like, basically, you beat me. Fair and square."
Yeah.
And then in the next moment, he's being abused by his teacher. So I wrestle with, is he still a dick? Is he not a dick?
You say
that kind of
it in
thing.
the next moment as if that's in the same movie.
It was supposed to be. They just cut it and saved it for number 2.
Yes, technically, that is the next moment. It's also several years and one movie away.
Well, there was this part of me that was like, could it be kind of Rocky 3? Could it be Apollo Creed working with Rocky Balboa? Yeah. Do they have a mutual respect? But dramatically, that's less interesting. So I think it has to be Johnny starts learning from Miyagi. This upsets Daniel. This rekindles bad blood. They are working against but I still have this idea at the end of sort of that, like the end of Rocky 3, of them just fighting each other, which ends the movie of Rocky 3.
Oh, no.
And sort of,
Yes, I know.
So I but in Rocky 3, it's like, what's that painter's name? The Naaman, I think. Where frozen moment turns into a painting. You don't really see the fight. In this one, if they hate each other, you have to see the fight. If they have mutual respect for each other, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where my mind is. My mind is, Johnny's back. Like, let's get Johnny's story. But the crux of it is this betrayal. He's taught by Miyagi. He learned something new and different, the spiritual side that Kreese could never give him. And but that betrayal for Daniel builds bad blood, and so they are against each other at the All Valley tournament. That's the movie.
Yeah, it's what's really interesting about that is you've also accidentally kind of rewritten Karate Kid Part 3 in a more interesting way.
In a more interesting way, because I fucking hate that movie, and this is better.
The rift in that relationship is about Daniel going over to, Victorian melodrama man.
Yes.
And, of course, just as it should be Terry who owes John Kreese, not John Kreese who owes Terry.
Right, right.
It should have been that Daniel's competing for Miyagi's affections from someone else, from another student. That was exactly the way to go. So I liked that a lot. It's also pretty much a kind of sliding doors version of what I came up with.
Oh, okay.
Like you've gone down
Gwyneth
exactly the
Paltrow.
same road and taken all the different exits that I didn't consider. Basically, that is what you've done.
Oh, I'm
So
excited
it's great.
now.
We complement each other without overlapping. It's great.
All right, give it to me.
My movie's called Karate Kids.
Oh.
Uh,
You're not going to put a fucking 5 on the end of that S?
But it's not the fifth movie. Yes, it is. It's the fifth.
It's the 5th.
I think when you put the next Karate Kid in, that kind of you have to start the sequence all over again.
I hear you.
Although that didn't work with Final Destination.
No.
But anyway, I'm gonna.
But again, they did something brilliant by making it a prequel. So you have to forgive it.
Yes. A backdoor prequel.
Yeah.
I've just invented a
Backdoor
genre. The
prequel.
backdoor
Dude,
prequel.
that's a fucking band name. Oh my god, that's got to be a t-shirt.
The backdoor
prequel.
So yeah, Karate Kids.
All right, go on.
We begin at Mr. Miyagi's funeral.
Oh.
It's 1995. Remember that time frame you dismissed? I'm going with that.
He didn't last long after
Well,
Julie.
see, what happened was he accidentally ate a potato. And his body just couldn't take...
Turns out he really is a rice man.
He told us. He warned us. He accidentally ate a potato. His diet couldn't handle more than one carb. He's out.
All right.
We're in LA. I'm assuming we might even be in San Diego because it'll probably be a military funeral. And Julie comes from Boston to be at his funeral.
Nice.
There she meets Daniel, who's also there, obviously.
Do they fight?
Yeah,
Or
they
love?
start and after the funeral, they go to a bar. They wait, is she? How old is she? Would she be of age in 1995?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
She would at least be 18.
Whatever has to happen. Oh, maybe
it's
then
like-
Daniel sneaks her into a bar and all that sort of stuff. So they're getting on really well.
Oh,
They're
I was thinking of the wrong age.
they're on the verge of hooking up.
My mind went to can he legally make out with her?
Well, here we go. So this is why this is kind of consistent with the other sequels, because Daniel likes Julie, one, because she's geographically unavailable to him, which is his favorite kind of girl, and two, we're immediately starting with an intergenerational relationship, which has defined all the male-female relationships in the Karate Kid up to this point. But anyway, they're hooking up. Things are going really well. They go back to Daniel's place. And at that point, no, actually, they have to go back to Julie's hotel room. That's very important. They go back to Julie's hotel room.
That's really important.
Very important. And then Julie, just as they're about to hook up, Julie gets a call that the bird sanctuary that she runs in Boston, right?
Of course.
Which is what she does now. Because like Daniel, she doesn't want to go to college. She wants to start a business that
Fail.
that Miyagi is, of course, an investor in. And he's reaping the profits for her. Even after death, he's exploiting her.
Send this money to my family in Okinawa, please.
So the bird sanctuary has been foreclosed on, and has been taken over, and it's going to become a Cobra Kai. Because yes, we're bringing in the national franchising of Cobra Kai that the next Karate Kid refused to talk about.
Nice.
Daniel's bonsai store. Daniel gets the same call. Like she's immediately like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Daniel then gets the same call that Mr. Miyagi's bonsai store is turning into a Cobra Kai. And it turns out that Cobra Kai had been waiting until Miyagi died to begin a plan of revenge against both anyone associated with Miyagi.
How are they forcing the sale?
Huh?
How are they forcing the sale?
Oh, Terry Silver's got fingers in lots of pies.
Minions.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
So basically they're both being taken over by Cobra Kai. So Daniel and Julie, whereas they were turning into lovers, now have to take a different course. They have to preserve the legacy of Miyagi. So they both agree to be dojo to the other to win the local championship in both Boston and LA, in the Valley.
Is this story going to be going back and forth between LA and
Yeah,
Boston?
it's a bi-coastal story. So they each agree to train each other. And then I thought that maybe Julie would be fighting Walton Goggins because he was kind of disgraced by the Alpha Elite. So he's kind of...
Yeah, but he was the one that like really felt bad at the end.
Yeah, he was
the
like,
one
I
that
don't
was
want to
like,
do this. I don't
no,
want to
fuck
do
this
this.
shit. Yeah.
So maybe Daniel is back fighting Johnny again, probably, as in your movie. But the big plot twist comes about 3/4 of the way through, where it turns out
Lay it on me.
Miyagi faked his own death. And he knew that Cobra Kai were planning something.
Oh my
And so he
God.
disappeared from the picture to see what they would do. And so he returns in the final moments to be Daniel's dojo.
That movie is a recipe for what the fuck.
So what happens is, Julie wins her championship. So also we get something we didn't get in Next Karate Kid, which is a fight that's just about her winning. She beats Walton Goggins in the championship. Then we go over to the Valley, the All Valley Championship, where this series started. But Julie's not doing as good a job being dojo as Daniel was to her. So Daniel's losing really badly. And then that's when we see Miyagi appear in the final moments. And he says something in his ear like,
I'm not dead.
big wing eagle fly higher than, whatever. The kind of thing he says. And that inspires Daniel to win, and that's how he wins in the end. So, and we can even end on the same shot that the original Karate Kid ended, with Daniel and Miyagi with winning the All-State Championship.
Now, are you allowed to even be in the All Valley if you're not in high school?
Well, Cobra Kai have forced a rule change.
Limber Tom.
Yeah.
He will not accept a wrench in his mechanics.
So there we go.
His
So
machinations.
there's
Fuck you, Shance.
Karate Kids, and
Karate
like
Kids.
it's like they're both. I like this idea of like how to keep them Karate Kids whilst also making them the dojo. So this was the way that I interpreted it, and I wanted to use that. I wanted to do a better, again, like you, I wanted to do a better version of Karate Kid Part 3, which I acknowledge has some flaws.
Garbage movie, go on.
Where, like John Kreese is killed off in the movie, but we always know it's fake.
Of course.
So I would like to do that idea with Miyagi, but everyone thinks he really is dead. Like, the audience think he's dead, and the characters in the movie think he's dead. So nobody knows he's alive, because I think that's a better way of doing that than, occasionally
right?
cut,
You do?
occasionally
You
cutting
do?
away to him getting a massage from some native women in Tahiti. So that's Karate Kids.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and let us know which sequel you think Hollywood should make. Should it be Johnny's Taught by Miyagi from me?
What is the title
Or
of that?
should it be... The Last
The
Karate
Last
Kid.
Karate Kid.
The Last Karate Kid. Or should it be Tom's Karate Kids Everything Soup? That's a real bouillabaisse, that one. Holy
Mine
shit.
has the advantage of definitely not being a storyline that Cobra Kai pursued.
I don't know for sure. Probably the down on the luck part, yes. But beyond that, because Miyagi's not even in that shit. And that's the crux of mine. That's where mine soars.
That's true. That is true.
So, no advantage.
I was considering having Miyagi appear as a ghost, but then I thought, if you're going to go that far, bring him back from the dead.
Oh my gosh. All right. That's it for the Karate Kid series. Ladies and gentlemen, please contact us and let us know which sequel you like more. You can find us on Facebook. You'll find us on Instagram or Twitter. Send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. For Tom Stewart from Lonesome Bolsa Productions, my name is Michael Shantz from the How Dare You Awards. We're going to see you next time with a new series. Say bye, Tom.
Miyagi always look for a way not to fight.
Always.
But Miyagi like fighting with Mike.
Me too. So long, everybody.
I like to think I know something about beer, but nowadays even I get overwhelmed when confronted by the exhaustive selection of craft beers they have at bars, breweries, and even grocery stores. Back in the day you had one, maybe two craft beers to choose from, and if you were confused, you ordered a Guinness. But in beerstinations like San Diego, the craft beer options lately are in double, sometimes even triple digits. So what's a beer drinker to do? You need what I need, the Vegas Beer Guys. Your beer of choice should be a perfect blend of malt and hops. And so a live show about beer needs that same balance. And the Vegas Beer Guys matches beer expert Dan Aker with self-proclaimed beer novice Stephen J. Weiss. The results are eminently drinkable. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They'll try new beers, they'll tell you about beer. Think of them as your beer Sherpas guiding you up a foamy-headed mountain to reach the peak of your pint. God, I need a beer.